Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Jessica and this is the Waldock Way. Today's video is going to be a let's chat all about curriculum. Now if you've watched any of my let's chats before, you can see that my location has changed. If you don't know this about me, I am from and live in Florida. And today is the first day this year that I have been able to sit outside without my face melting off. So we are going to capitalize on this beautiful weather and film our let's chat outside today. The most common question I receive in emails and messages and chats and on videos and on blog posts all revolve around curriculum. What curriculum do I use? What curriculum should you use? How do we use our curriculum? How many days a week do we do the curriculum? What did we use for kindergarten? What will we use for second grade? What do I suggest? What do I like and not like about it? And then the most common question I get, especially here on YouTube, is how we fit all of the curriculum that I feature in. I'm going to try to answer all of those questions for you today. The first thing I'm going to answer is fitting it all in. Everything that you see featured on this channel that I have done a look inside, I own and I have probably bought. There have been a few things that have been given to me. I don't think I have featured them yet. I will disclose when I do feature something that was gifted to me. However, we do not use everything all at one time. We have either used it in the past, are using it currently, or will be using it in the future. So just because I'm showing you a look inside so that you can see inside of a curriculum does not necessarily mean that we are using it. And it certainly doesn't mean we're using it right now or every day for that matter. Now, that being said, I don't use curriculum the way it is intended to be used, or at least the way that most people use it. Curriculum is normally written with a plan that's, on day 1 do this and on day 10 do this, and you do it for 180 days, and when you're done, you're done. That's not how we use it. That's not how I use it anyway. And that's not how I buy it. Now, I do buy curriculum for the year. I buy what I think is a good plan. I buy something for every subject, something I think would be a good fit. And I did plan our first grade curriculum. I bought and planned it, and I will link that video up here for you guys to watch. But that doesn't mean we've used it all. In fact, there are some things which I will be doing an update on that we have either not started or basically not gotten to. And there are other things that we have already stopped because they weren't working at this season in our life. Just because we've not gotten to something or we're no longer using it doesn't mean I didn't like it. It just means it wasn't working for us and it wasn't working for us right now. Okay, now let me tell you how we use curriculum. 2 years ago, and actually this year as well, I've tried to read it every year, I read Sarah Mackenzie's book, Teaching from Rest. If you're a homeschooler and you haven't read it, read it. That is just absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts. Just read it. The biggest thing I took away from that book was something that she said about curriculum. And it was that you don't work for the curriculum works for you. The curriculum is not the boss. You are the boss. The curriculum is simply a resource that you are using to teach something. What? Psh, mind blown. And that is how I've used curriculum ever since. I buy and own a lot of curriculum. Not because we're going to do it all in its entirety, but because I want to have it as a resource. If we're doing addition in Life of Fred and it's not clicking for her, I want to be able to pull something off the shelf immediately to teach it in another way. I don't want to have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for shipping or even 2 days for prime shipping. If Emily comes to me tomorrow and says, Mom, I really want to learn about the human body, I don't want to have to spend 2 weeks planning. I want to know that I have enough stuff on the shelf to pull off a human body study within 2 days because I want to capitalize on that interest while it's still an interest. 2 to 6 days from now, it may no longer be an interest. I keep enough things on hand at all times to be able to teach things for the most part. Now, we may have to get a library trip in. But for the most part, I have enough curriculum to refer to for resources and reference to be able to teach almost anything she can throw at me. Almost, because she can still throw a lot of things at me. That is how I use curriculum. I don't base curriculum around the fact that if I finish 180 of lessons of this, I'm done for the year and my daughter's where she needs to be. I could care less if we complete a workbook or a curriculum. What I care about is where she's at and if she has actually learned it. Because in my experience, doing 180 lessons in a book does not necessarily mean you learned it. It doesn't mean you know it. And so that's where we are with curriculum, and that's how we treat curriculum. Now, to answer some of the questions that I have gotten about how we fit it all in, number one, we don't do everything every day. We don't do everything the way it's written, and we don't do things in its entirety. So for certain things like jot it down, we do jot it down. We do normally about a writing lesson or a writing project once a month. I feel like that's enough for her because she's 6, and we do other writing, like fun stuff, whenever we feel like it, and so that's how we approach that. Passport to Adventures, the curriculum that I designed, we have taken some weeks off where we just haven't done it. We have extended some things for 2 weeks because she was really interested in it. And that's a curriculum that I designed. So I designed it and planned it, and I'm going against my own plans. For A Life of Fred, we started out really strong doing a chapter a day, and then things and concepts started getting a little more difficult. And so now we're doing a chapter a week. That is why I don't plan my year in advance. That is also why I really don't like telling you all what I'm going to do for the year. And I did, and I will link that video so you can watch it. I told you what I was going to do for the year because I was asked to tell you. And things have already changed, so I will be doing an update so that you can see what we're actually doing right now. And I will probably have to do another update at the end of the year because things will probably change again. And that's okay with me. I reevaluate constantly. I'm constantly reevaluating our needs and where we're at. And some things don't necessarily change because of my daughter. Some things change because of me. I might be in a season of life where I cannot be as attentive as a curriculum needs. And so I need something that can be more independent. So keep that in mind when you're curriculum shopping and when you have a curriculum, if it's just not working. You can change it. You can stop it and restart it. I know that we all think that we have to do it exactly the way it's laid out, and we have to follow those plans, and we have to do the things the exact way it says, and we can't stop it or we're a failure. You're not a failure. You are homeschooling your child probably because you are giving them a better education than anybody else could give them. So first of all, pat yourself on the back for that. And no matter what curriculum you use, stop or start, you're not failing your child. Especially if while you're stopping and starting and picking something else out is because it's not working for your child or for you or you're butting heads. Just remember at the end of the day that the curriculum is your employee. It's your resource. It works for you. You are the boss. The curriculum is not the boss of you. So that is really what I wanted to say in this Let's Chat today, is that all of the questions I get asked about curriculum, at the end of the day, we don't use it the way most people use it. And I encourage you to try the same thing because I see so many homeschoolers that are a prisoner to their curriculum. They're like locked to it in chains and they don't feel like they can make changes. And the truth and the reality is you can. You are smart enough and you yourself are enough for your child that if you want to wing it, wing it. The curriculum, you already own it and it's already there. You can go back to it if you need to. It can be your security blanket. That's fine. But just do what you think is best for your child, even if the curriculum doesn't tell you to do it. And don't be hard on yourself because you spent money on something that you're walking away from. Because had you not spent the money and had you not tried it, you wouldn't know that it doesn't work or you wouldn't know what might work. So it's an investment in figuring out what's going to work and where you need to end up down the line. And yes, I'm talking to myself as much as you guys because I have invested a lot in curriculum and resources and stuff. And I have slowly begun to learn that it's okay. It's okay to do a little bit and figure out that this doesn't work. That was a stepping stone in me figuring out what will work and what does work. If you have any other questions about curriculum, leave them in the comments and I will be more than happy to answer them for you to the best of my ability. I really just wanted to come on here and try to explain what curriculum is for us and how we use it so that you would understand the rest of my videos a little more. So if I tell you we're doing a unit study or we're really into something, we've probably dropped everything else and we've following her interest on that. That's not always the case, but more than likely it is.